Thieves will steal our cash, our cars, our valuables. Just about anything they can get their hands on.
But now the police are using cutting-edge technology to catch the bad guys.
The CCTV is gold dust.
Great evidence for the police.
Got to have him stopped.
Local councils, shops and businesses are fighting crime with their own tricks and traps.
There's a eureka moment when you get that evidence.
And the public are using secret cameras to make sure crooks get their comeuppance.
It makes me feel so angry.
He's paid the price. He's being dealt with.
Yes, we've got her.
So anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, father of one, Io, thought he was moving to a safer neighbourhood when he left inner-city London, until a visitor in the night proves him wrong.
It was a heart-stopping moment. It was like, someone is standing in my house.
Io is a computer expert and hopes that his IT expertise can help him crack the case. Also today, Kate runs a unique cafe that's full of rescue cats. One day, their CCTV shows they have a cat burglar at work. And a cat detective too.
Our cats have gone through so much already. I felt quite devastated, actually.
But PC Tabby Cat doesn't want him to get away with it. But first, Natu and Sue have run a local store for over 30 peaceful years. Until one day, all that changes when Natu sees Sue being threatened with a knife and has to make a life or death decision.
The knife was there on my face and I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Natu, despite his advanced years, gives the robber the surprise of his life with a ladder. In the suburbs of Wolverhampton, this convenience store is owned by Natu and his wife Hasumati, known as Sue. They've been together since 1974.
My sister from Leicester phoned me. She said, there's a nice girl here, if you're interested. I said, yes, I'll come around and have a look.
Natu's sister set up a meeting with Sue.
We went out, we went for a ride. It was so lovely. It was young, very, very skinny. He was very skinny that time.
It was good. She said, my brother will tell me off. I said, tell your brother, don't worry, I'll marry you.
True to his word, Natu soon married Sue.
I've been with her 42 years now. Yes, she is good. She's the one who wears trousers in the house.
Natu and Sue have raised a family and run the shop for 35 years.
It's my livelihood and I enjoy doing it.
Natu is so kind and so bubbly. He's laughing all the time, joking all the time. He never says no to anyone. If a stranger comes and says, oh, Natu, can I have this? He'll say, okay. It's like that.
But then one day, their peace is suddenly shattered by a man with a knife who invades the shop, demanding money. It's a Tuesday afternoon in May. The shop is open as normal, but Natu and Sue are also looking after their 3-year-old granddaughter. And today, it's Natu's turn to keep her occupied.
So I was just playing with her at the back in the living quarters.
I was by my own in the shop. It was very quiet.
But the morning turns out to be anything but quiet when this man enters the shop.
He just came in and he asked for 10 cigarettes.
Sue walks over to him.
I turned back and gave him 10 cigarettes and I said $3.90.
But at that moment, the man reaches inside his coat and suddenly Sue is frozen with shock as she finds herself looking at a large, sharp knife pointed right at her throat.
I was just looking at the knife and I was so frightened. And he said, give me the money, give me the money. I was so scared to open the till or anything. He was just, my knife was on my neck, like he was just there. And I was so scared.
Sue backs away as far as she can. The man gets angry and starts trying to open the till himself.
Started to bang on the till, but he couldn't open it. Still, the knife was there on my face, and I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then he turned around, and I just went for the buzzer straight away.
The buzzer links through to the back room where Natu's looking after their granddaughter. He's unaware of the danger his wife is facing out front.
When I heard the buzzer, I thought my wife wanted to know the price of something, or she needs an assistant there, help.
He makes his way through to see Sue. Meanwhile, she's trying to edge away from the knifeman as he continues to fumble with the till. But he comes after her.
And as soon as he saw me going, he just came from the front and he blocked me.
Natu comes through the back door and is surprised to find himself face to face with a man brandishing a weapon.
I saw this knife and I said, what the hell do you want?
And he said, give me the money.
Oh no, what am I going to do?
My husband said, okay, wait a minute, I'll give you some money.
So he presumed that I've gone to get the money.
But when he goes into the back room, Natu makes a brave but foolhardy decision. He decides to take on the knifeman.
In a panic, I just saw that step ladder. I said, that's nice. That will keep the distance between me and him. I grabbed the ladder.
The knifeman is in for a shock.
Went and said, here you are, and just rammed at him. He was afraid of it as much as I was afraid of him.
The man flees empty-handed, with Natu chasing him out into the street.
I was shouting at him. I said, stop, come here, you. And he didn't look back. He just kept on running.
I went outside as well to see what is going on. And I saw him. He said, he's gone, he's gone.
And I said to her, I said, you're all right. She said, yeah, I'm okay.
And then he said, give me the car keys, give me the car keys.
I said, if you're all right, then I'll go and look for him.
I was saying, no, don't go, just leave him alone, let him go. He said, no, I'm going to catch him.
Natu drives off in the hope there's still a chance of spotting the knifeman.
He's only walking, he has got no bike or no other transport.
And minutes later, Natu sees the man walking down the road. He starts to follow him in his car.
I thought he might recognize me. If he recognized me, then the game is over. But he wasn't looking back. I phoned the police, and I told the police that what happened, and I said, I'm following him now. He said, but keep your distance, don't approach him.
The police tell him they're on their way, and Natu continues to track the would-be robber. After several minutes, the man arrives at a bus stop.
The police said, just sit in the car, and somebody will be there.
Natu waits to hear a police siren, but with a potentially dangerous armed robber on the loose, the police go for a covert tactic, and officers approach in an unmarked car.
And all of a sudden, a maroon Astra pulls up, and it was just ordinary couple come out. I thought they must be catching the bus, but instead they was arresting him. And they was going through his pockets, all his belongings. I said to myself, oh, that's a good result that they've got him in custody. He might have harmed somebody else.
The man's been apprehended, but Natu and Sue are still worried that if the suspect pleads not guilty, they will have to testify in court.
Then after a month, police said that he's pleaded guilty, so I don't have to go to court now.
The man was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months in prison. For his part in resisting and apprehending the robber, Natu received a letter from the High Sheriff of the West Midlands and will be given an award for bravery at a special ceremony. But Natu believes Sue was the brave one.
My wife had the courage to stand there, and she's looking at him in his eyes, and he's got a knife in his hand. And she did a very, very courageous thing to press the buzzer.
Sue hasn't let the experience put her off working in the shop.
My customer was saying, oh, Sue, what have you done? What have you done? I said, I haven't done anything. I was so scared. I bet you won't stand in the shop now. I said, no, I have to, because I like to stand in the shop and work in my shop.
But 35 years after opening their store, the couple are now getting ready for a big change.
I'm going to retire next year.
Relax. Some holidays, look after grandsons and daughters when they come to my house. I wanted just a small house, not a very big house. I want just 2-bedroom house, nice, cozy.
I'm looking forward to retirement with her. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And now, a homeowner in South London gets a rather nasty surprise. As part of a wildlife project, their garden has had a camera installed to film the comings and goings of a family of foxes. The camera's clever technology means it is triggered by any movement, and so it captures some wonderful moments. A mum feeding her cub, and a local moggy that gets the fright of its life from a fox club before making a hasty exit. And this other cub that's outfoxed by a pigeon. He's left spitting feathers. But so are the homeowners when the camera's night vision reveals they've had a visit from a different type of cunning fox. This dodgy-looking man has crept into their garden and is clearly up to no good. He tries to break into their shed before helpfully revealing his face to the camera. After he's finished trying to burgle this household, he moves on to steal from a neighbour's home, but he accidentally leaves his scarf behind. It doesn't take the Met long to identify him from this video, arrest him and then match his DNA to that on the scarf left at the scene of the crime. Because it's the third time he's been convicted, the burglar is sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. So now the Foxcam, after its brief brush with crime, can go back to filming Mr. and Mrs. Brush and their cute family. Aww. Look down any street and you'll see an increasing number of homes with security cameras. And often those houses will have cameras inside as well as out. This camera captures a burglar as he sneaks into a house while a family sleeps upstairs.
What if he took my daughter? Things like that do happen.
And this homeowner decides to use the power of technology to track the thief down. The market town of Romford is on the outskirts of East London. Io moved here with his partner and young daughter 2 years ago. He was raised in a tough area of inner city London, but it didn't stop him doing well at school. After successfully forging a career in IT, he was hoping life would be safer in Romford.
I was brought up in Hackney, East London, aka the concrete jungle. So I'm quite streetwise. Now I live in Romford. It's slightly more quiet, I'd say. It's a pretty nice area to live in. But one thing I did discover after is I started actually researching burglaries in this area.
Io found his new postcode came high up on the list of burglary hotspots in the UK.
Which was something I didn't know before I moved here. Out here, there's a lot more space, so people have got drives. So you see an expensive car in the drive, you know the keys are in that house.
And it wasn't just his car that Io was worried about. He has a lot of expensive equipment at home.
I'm a computer programmer, what I've always wanted to do as a child, kind of thing. So I'm living the dream, I guess. But all the problems I have in life, I always turn to technology. So
Io decided to use technology to help protect his technology. As well as getting an alarm installed, he invested in some security cameras.
My friend started a company. I just kind of wanted to support him, and I'd bought the new car at the time, and I thought, oh, I might as well get this CCTV, not thinking that anything was happening.
But something does happen, and Io's security equipment turns out to be a wise investment. It's a Friday night in February. Io is at home with his partner while their young daughter sleeps upstairs.
Went to bed like I usually do. I rarely used to put an alarm on at night.
The couple's pet pug, Hugo, is in the kitchen downstairs.
He was really young. He was in a cage, so he doesn't mess up the whole kitchen over the night.
The family sleeps soundly that night. They don't hear a peep from young Hugo. But in the morning, they find the front door slightly ajar.
My girlfriend said that you've left the door open. I just thought maybe I did leave it open because it didn't look like it'd been broken, so I just closed the door.
Io is intending to go to the gym, but he can't find his kit bag. And that's not all.
I then went looking for my phone. I couldn't find my phone anywhere. And even then, the penny still hadn't fully dropped, because I just didn't believe it. But then I thought, okay, let me just check the CCTV.
He looks at the overnight recording and he's stunned by what he sees.
I was shocked. I think that was the main thing. I was shocked to just see someone standing there.
It's just gone 3 a.m. A man in a hoodie walks up the driveway past Io's new car. He has something in his hand and forces the front door open. Seconds later, he's inside.
It literally was a heart-stopping moment. It was like, someone is standing in my house.
The intruder starts rummaging through the coats in the hall.
He was looking for the car keys because he wanted to steal the car that was outside.
Unaware there's a camera, the man's let his hood slip back, showing his face. He finds a bag and carries it outside.
I'm guessing he wanted to check maybe the keys potentially could be in there.
But the keys aren't in the bag, so the intruder comes back for a further search.
Came in again and he looked quite angry actually. He looked quite kind of like, oh, where are these keys?
But then things take a more sinister turn as the man creeps upstairs, where Io and his family are fast asleep.
Which definitely did put a different spin on it, because it made me much more angry about the whole situation. What if he just took my daughter? Which is possible, you know, things like that do happen.
After a few minutes, the intruder creeps back downstairs. He still hasn't found the car key and searches the coats again. He decides to take Io's jacket away with him.
I had my phone in there, had headphones, stuff like that, probably quite heavy. Again, he thought maybe the keys could be there.
The man finally leaves the house. He doesn't find the keys and doesn't steal the car. But he's taken Io's jacket, phone and a bag containing a valuable laptop and other equipment. Io calls the police, who take away a copy of the CCTV recording to start their investigation. Meanwhile, he decides to do some detective work of his own.
I'm a kind of person that if I feel I've been wronged, I'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. And I think in this particular situation, I had a little bit of an advantage in terms of he took my phone, so that gave me a bit of a clue. I had some CCTV, so I knew that there was something that I could do.
Io's phone has a feature that sends out messages showing its whereabouts if it's been lost or stolen.
I went to my mum's house and I just used my brother's computer to check my email. And I saw this, your phone has been found here kind of thing. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yes, right, I've got something to go on.
The phone has sent a message alerting Io that it's somewhere in an estate near his home. He gives the information to the police, but can't resist going to have a look around himself.
I just thought, well, the least I could do is try to see if I can provide some more information for the police trying to catch him, and potentially I might bump into him myself.
Thanks to his CCTV cameras, Io has a good idea what the man looks like.
I can work out his height roughly from where the door was, so I kind of like worked out his height roughly a little bit taller than me. But as you can see, it's a very distinctive hairline, it's going bald. Every time I was walking around, I was looking at people's hair to see if they've got a balding patch at the front, and then if they did, then I looked at their trainers.
Io can't find the burglar, but when he shows a local woman his CCTV footage, she recognises the man.
She said to me, he's got a garage, and she's always seen these new cars going in and out of this garage. So she took me to where this garage was. She's a bit reluctant, but in the end I kind of just talked her into it.
There's no one at the garage, but Io takes photographs of the area and notes the locations of nearby CCTV cameras in case they can provide any video evidence.
And then I went back home and I basically wrote a report to the police saying, I've discovered this now as well, so I've been down there, I've had a look, and gave all this to the police.
It's not long before there's some good news.
I got an email from the police saying that someone got arrested, which was great. I was really, really happy about that. Good, gotcha. So he initially denied it, but a bit further along, he admitted it. We thought, obviously, he's going to get convicted.
And convicted he was. The man was sent to prison for 2 years and 4 months for the burglary of Io's home.
I was absolutely fantastically happy about it. Could sleep at night knowing that person is not actually going to do it tonight because he's in prison. So that was good.
Io's stolen equipment was not recovered, but at least, being an experienced computer techie, he'd made sure he had backups of everything that was on it. He's also improved his security at home.
I make sure every single night my alarm's on, my door's double locked.
Io also hopes Hugo proves to be a slightly more effective guard dog in future.
Now he probably would bark, but the fact that he didn't react, you know, you can't really blame him. He's only a youngster. He's only learning his trade. Let's go then, boss.
Thankfully, it's rare for a burglar to break into a house when people are at home. But there are still some straightforward things we can do to reduce the chance of it happening to us.
One of the easiest things you can do is to make sure you've got the right doors and window locks, that they're well manufactured, that they actually do the job that they intend to.
Don't leave your valuables near to the front door, perhaps a handbag, car keys, you name it, all of this is an attraction for a wannabe burglar.
They can even use things like coat hangers or fishing rods to put through your letterbox and just hook your keys.
We've had experience of criminals using 6-foot rods to be able to reach in and steal property. This can be as far as a kitchen, perhaps on a stairway.
If you're aware, have a neighbour, a friend, family member come in, turn some lights on, invest in a light timer to do it automatically figure, have a friend park the car in the drive, just make it look as though there's someone in all the time and they'll move on.
Now, a thief enters a rescue centre for cats and steals their collected funds. He thinks he's got away with it, but Daisy, the clever cat, is set to surprise this crook.
She knows everything on that reception desk and she can see it there in the bag. And it's like she runs off to go and get someone.
In the centre of Nottingham, there's an unusual business on the high street. In Kate's Special Cafe, the customers are surrounded by cats.
I think cats just steal my heart a little bit. They can have that air of independence, but they need and love you, really. We basically just fit in around the cats. That's generally how it works. The place was built with the trees, with the cats in mind, and we even have our own cat VIP area, which is the cat snug, which customers don't have access to. It means that they can get away and chill out if they wish.
Stole my chair.
The range of people that come here is actually quite amazing. We have, you know, from young children to absolute crazy cat ladies just like me.
We've come all the way from Leicester. My name's Kat. I have a cat shop. I'm petting a cat in a cat cafe. We are dedicated to our cats.
It's very difficult for them not to put a smile on your face, especially if you've had a bad day and some smelly old tabby comes and parks his bottom on you. It usually brightens up my day anyway.
But the cafe has a serious purpose. Many of these are rescue cats, and the aim of Kate's business is to take them in, rehabilitate them, and then rehome them.
There you go. You look beautiful.
So, to pay towards the cat's welfare, customers regularly fill the donation box on the cafe's counter.
It contributes to their day-to-day upkeep. It goes towards all their veterinary care that they might require. We get cats that come to us in some shocking states, really, really bad states.
One of those cats was Daisy.
She embodies Kitty Cafe. She was an abandoned kitten. She was in a bad way when we got her. We wasn't sure that her and her sister were going to survive. Me and my husband looked after personally in our home. Her and her sister pulled through, and ever since then, she's just been in charge and ruled the roost.
Daisy is one of the most well-known cats in the cafe, as she spends most of her time sitting on the reception desk, which proves useful the day a crook targets the cafe and Daisy plays cat and mouse with him. It's a Tuesday afternoon, just gone 3. The receptionist is busy packing display items when this man approaches the desk.
We do get a lot of customers that come in intrigued about who we are and what we do. This gentleman came in and he was asking questions about the cafe in the same sort of way.
But the man is just pussyfooting around, hiding his true purpose. He wants to get his paws on a box at reception containing donations from the public. As soon as the receptionist goes to get something from under the counter, he pounces. Unseen by everybody, he puts it in his bag, but he hasn't counted on Kat's eyes. Daisy senses something's going on and approaches the bag to look inside. The man attempts to shoo her away, but she won't budge. Then Daisy tries jumping into it, but can't get through the gap. As far as Daisy's concerned, this cat's out of the bag. But the thief nonchalantly carries on his conversation before getting away with the donation box. Catastrophe. Kate doesn't discover the box is missing until the end of the day.
We checked the CCTV and we saw this incident unfold in front of our eyes.
There was around £60 in the box the thief stole.
I felt quite devastated, actually, because it's so obvious what we do and what the money's for. Our cats, they have gone through so much already, and that somebody wanted to take away from that was very, very upsetting.
But Kate's pleased that Daisy helped her slow the thief down and create some memorable CCTV footage.
She knows everything on that reception desk, and she can see it there in the bag. And it's like she runs off to go and get someone to come and help. I was very proud of Daisy. She did get some extra treats that night.
The police come to take away the recording to start their investigation. And Kate does what she can to get her claws into this cat burglar by posting the video on the internet.
We have such a strong following on social media, and Daisy has almost like her own fan club. Once I'd got it on there, it sort of just flew.
People in the Nottingham area are outraged and shared Daisy's video thousands of times. And a week later, the combination of all this publicity, together with the police work, means the thief hasn't a cat in hell's chance.
He was being arrested in town for another offence, and a couple of our regulars who had the video went onto Facebook, marched over to the police, showed them the video of little Daisy trying to get the donation box, and he was arrested there and then for the theft of the donation box too.
A perfect result. In court, the thief pleaded guilty to the theft from the cafe and was sentenced to 9 weeks imprisonment, suspended for 12 months. He was also ordered to pay Kate £60 compensation. All the attention Kate's cafe received after the incident caused extra donations to flood in. The only difference now is that the box is stuck to the counter.
It means that if they were to try and slide it, not only would it not go anywhere, but we'd hear it ripping, so... Any problems on reception today?
And of course, any crooks will have to get past to the cat's eyes of a very cool cat called Daisy.
That's it for today. And that's it for a few more criminals who've been caught red-handed.